or from some programs where there are some people who always have choose the right if note, but still they died.
How does Discovery Channel know that?
Because they have some history of that.
History?
Yeah, they have shown some history of that. You know one case where one monk actually put himself on fire because of peace?
No.
There is a case of that. So there are 1,000 cases of like that. Yeah. So there are 1,000 cases like that. So I mean, my question is.
But putting oneself in fire, does it solve any problem? I don't know.
No, that's my question.
Yeah.
If there are some people, like there are some people who always maybe choosing the right if note, but still at the end the death is not very happily. If there is no fate, nothing, and you are doing always good, so how the karma deciding like that sorts of death? Because I also know some cases where it's also original cases, documentary, as maybe he was telling one of them. So people, the mother and father both are very good. They have maybe they have not done something wrong to other people, but still they are having a baby with parasite twin or lots of difficult cases with lots of maybe no heart, no brain, like that. And they are bearing those childs for rest of their life. So if karma does mean anything, and
so you are assuming the karma is limited to one life, but I just said it's over many lives. And actually I would say that is an opportunity for the parents to ask themselves that why us? We did not do anything wrong, then why this is happening to us? And that question leads to the answer of the law of karma over many lives and the answer to the breaking of the cycle.
So it's same for maybe the monk who is hanged till death.
Yeah, and you don't know what was the purpose of the monk, because the law of karma and the yoga of karma is a very vast thing. Maybe if I am given an opportunity, I will discuss it in more detail later. But just to summarize, I would say, just to make a quick summary of the whole thing, it's not literally the action that you are doing, but it's your thought behind the action. So externally, you may think, okay, this person is a monk, and this person is behaving perfectly, and maybe according to the standards of the world, and according to the human or humanitarian laws, those actions are perfect. But if the intention of doing those actions are, for example, to become famous, then it is not good according to the law of karma. So for example, I may do very good things to everybody, right? I may donate people, I may give knowledge to people, but if I will know what is my purpose, others will not know. So if my purpose is to become famous, become happy, and become happy by the name and fame that I achieve, if that's the primary purpose, say, then the law of karma says it's not the right karma. But to the external world, everything is perfect. They won't detect anything because nobody can read my mind. So, but if I do it genuinely to help others, then I will know. So what I'm saying that the Discovery Channel or you cannot enter the mind of that monk or whatever. So it's hard to judge from one instance why that happened. Because the model is very general and it is consistent.
So basically karma is like your fate. So I don't know what I was in my previous life, so I should, while crossing the road, look at both ways. I should not jump off a building because I don't know my fate. So because I don't know, fate is something I don't know. So then there is a fate, which or karma, because that is unknown to me.
Yes.
That basically justifies that you should do right. You should.
But you can. So suppose you have a balance of bad karma of 100 units. Right? And you are saying that, so you are defining that to be your fate because you have a balance of, say, 0 of good karma and balance 100 of bad karma, and say that defines that something will happen to you in this life. But the law of karma says that you have the opportunity to actually erase that balance because you have the free will. So if you decide that I don't know my balance, but I want to erase, I want to zero sum everything, yoga is the process.
Yes.
Okay.
Suppose I have a karma balance of plus 100.
Yes, suppose.
Then what happens is, now if I hurt a soul and it decreases.
Yes, say.
Yeah, it decreases, suppose. So is it something like that? Is there any quantification based on species? If I hurt a soul in plant body, it is less, animal body is more. Is it something like that? Is there any quantification? It's based on species.
So, I mean, it will actually lead into a very long discussion on foods and what we should eat and what we should not eat, vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism, and I can go into it, but it's better if we keep it for the next lecture.
Yeah,
because that's the process of yoga, we'll cover all these things. The question that you asked.
Yeah, I was also going to ask something like that, because in Hindu philosophy it says don't kill cow, but you can kill chicken.
No, in Hindu philosophy it does not say. First of all, Hindu
they only says don't kill cow because cow is the mother. It's something like that.
No. Don't kill cow. It doesn't say. It says worships cow, so they don't kill.
Yeah, but they don't say it about.
According to Vedic philosophy, we are not supposed to kill any animal. But again, that will lead into, as I said, many more discussions. So I will answer those questions, but probably a better context would be next class.
Yes. So last question.
Yes.
Last insight to the discussion. Small insight. So I was hearing about the discussion about this karma and thing and the release of soul. So this plus and minus factors, everything. So let's assume like I die and my soul passes into a tree. Okay, so
assume.
Okay, so a nice tree beside you, Mick. And that tree doesn't do any harm, or that tree doesn't always gains the positive karma. Okay. And so that means that my soul will be all the souls from the trees after the tree dies, they can be released because it doesn't fit in the equation and it has done all the good things and everything.
So what is the question?
So the question is that
we always do good things.
Because I mean, let's assume that there is no
a tree and gets free.
Yeah. So to assume the concept of getting free and to free your soul, like okay, I can argue that okay, the animals they are good, but somebody can say that no, they are not good. They are killing some other animals. But if you assume a tree, I mean, yes, you can argue that this is a bad tree and this is a good tree, but it doesn't happen like that. A tree is always a tree. It stays there, it grows and it gives fruits. So it doesn't do anything bad. Mm-hmm. So that should I assume that after the soul releases from the tree, it is free. It has achieved what you call a nirvana. So
yeah, if you follow this, even in the pyramid, you don't have to go up to the human.
Yes.
The tree level.
But my question is the tree deathless? Is it eternally existing? Because the goal is of eternal happiness.
Now,
after 300 years, the tree will die.
Yeah, after the tree died, then the soul will have the nirvana.
But how did you remove
because
the balance?
Balance is negative initially. So after 300 years, how will the balance become zero?
I mean, how do you ensure that?
Yeah, because the tree is giving. Yes, and
enough. See, to make the balance zero, you need
human.
You need intelligence. Let's say.
Okay.
And because human beings have the best intelligence, I mean, according to biologists. So, and according to Vedic philosophy, which actually conforms to that, it says that the human life is the opportunity to make the balance zero. Whatever is the balance, you don't know it, but it is an opportunity. And if you don't happen to make the balance zero, then you can become a tree or an animal depending on the law of karma or whatever. But then you have to wait until the soul goes into the human body again. Okay. And there are roughly 8 million species of life. Okay. And so it has to go through. So once you skip the human form, it's like a platform. And once you skip it, according to, so the process of yoga, so there may be other process which other form of life have realized, which we do not have access to. But what I am saying, at least humans have practiced some process which some people have verified and they have claimed to be verified, and you can also do the same process and either accept or reject it, right? So at least in human form you have a process which works for the human. So in the human life you have the opportunity to practice that form. That's what I am saying. But in other life it is uncertain. And this model says that you have to come back to the human form.
Don't wait to become a tree.
I would like to say something.
Yes.
Say suppose you are not living on just on your instincts, right? Say, so you always have an opportunity to decide whether it is a good or bad. So because it's not just an instinct. Other animals like say lion, he lives on its instinct. Okay, so there is no judgment that you can. I mean, if you take the exocentric view of that particular system, you can't justify because he bonds, he kills to live, and he finishes his life, right? So there is no karmic siddhant association with this particular species.
Basically.
So that's why what I proposed in the first place, like that promotion and all. To get out of this cycle, you need to have some authority to decide whether it's a good thing or not, and that you only get when you are in the human body.
Yes,
This is
and
how it's justified.
what I answered is actually I tried to generalize it. So what Vedic philosophy says is that the law of karma applies only to human species, and only in the human form you have the opportunity to make it zero. And in other species, the law of karma does not apply. It just goes on. I mean, you have
But
your
soul exists.
the soul exists. Yeah. And my answer would be, you can believe that. And if you don't believe that, you can alternatively think like this, that at least in human form of life, we have a formal methods, prescribed methods, that okay, if you do this, then you can make the balance zero. And at least they are tested or claimed to be tested by some people, and you have the opportunity to test it, whatever be the results. But in other forms, we do not know, because we do not remember living the life of other animal, and we do not remember in our tree form or tiger form whether we have read any philosophy or discussed any philosophy of liberation from that life, right? But at least this we know. So what is the most wisest thing to act upon it? That's what I would say. Because other is not guaranteed. That would be a more scientific view. But if you are hardcore believer of Vedic philosophy, you can also believe that human form is the only option. But both these model actually leads to identical goal and identical set of action. So they are indistinguishable, according to me.
If we have a positive balance of karma,
Yes.
we will not be able to break the cycle?
No. You have to
So
make
how do we invite death at the zero balance?
You don't have
Some
to
negative
invite. So if you follow the process of yoga properly, then automatically it will become zero. So you don't have to think.
So it means zero, means for a span of time.
Yes.
Because there are many microorganisms also in the air itself. While breathing also we do some negative karma or something like that. So that Vedic process will keep on keeping that maintaining the balance.
Exactly. So then it goes into the higher authority who decides the law of karma, right? That I have talked about. So there is a role of that thing which maybe in the next class I will describe. Okay.
Who decides or judges this law of karma?
Nature.
So is there any prescribed rules or any book?
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3.
Page number?
You don't need it. It's freely available, it's unique, all the verses are common, there is no conflict in the editions, and there are many scholars. Some choose to practice it, some choose to discuss it as an armchair philosophy. But it's known, it's public domain and open source.
Is there any words or just summary of that entire thing? Like
Next
points
class.
we can follow?
Next class.
Who decides that a soul leaves a body? Can that person himself decide?
Well, if you do suicide,
No, that's a different thing. I mean,
There are many attempts of suicide which fail.
but suicide is, prohibited in law of karma. So that's not liberating.
for example,
So you say, oh, it seems now I'm at balance zero, let me kill myself. It
for
does not
example,
like
say
that.
Bhishma in Mahabharata,
Uh-huh.
he got grievously injured but chose not to leave his body.
Mm-hmm.
and he left it only when he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is both are something. Right?
Still.
But that had a different purpose. So the thing is that we can interpret it as that maybe for Bhishma the law of karma said the balance was 0, but he decided to teach some lesson to other people.
Yep. But
So
so,
then other people can
he
get
decided, not some higher authority. So a
For the
person.
time you assume he decided, after next class he will decide some higher authority decided.
My sense is not with the
Okay.
Okay. So you told that what the thinking originally that actually decides the balance, right?
So it was like thinking, feeling, and acting. 3 things, right? So the mind gives
No,
you the
if you
thinking.
are doing some charity, but you are still thinking.
Yes, the thinking.
So mainly the thought actually that makes your credit.
Exactly.
So if somebody doesn't doing anything, sitting at home and thinking some good positive things, then the credit will increase, or
Exactly. That's the goal of prayers.
oh,
Also,
that justifies
so-
prayers also.
in your slides, you're discriminating between the intelligence and the mind.
Yes.
Now, suppose you consider the mathematical calculation that is happening in my mind. It requires intelligence, so it should be a part of my conscious mind, right? How it is discriminated?
It's part of intelligence.
So, but then there is a segregation, there is a separation between. But then how it is justified?
No, so as I said that the mind is giving you ideas. So when you're solving a problem, right? So the mind may give you many ideas, but when you analyze the ideas, then you use the intelligence. So it's a state 1 and state 2, and there are arrows in both directions. They work together as a whole system.
Okay,
So they are not separate.
They are not separate.
So yeah.
So intelligence is a subset of your mind.
Not subset. I would say that intelligence is a state, mind is a state, and together they are part of an FSM. Right? In an FSM, does any state have to be the subset of another state?
No,
It
it
need
not
not
be,
be.
but-
But they have interaction. From one state you can reach another state.
But that's my problem. There are not 2 separate states. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's an inherent part of what is it called? Say mind.
So it depends on the granularity what you are looking at. Right? So if you look at finer granularity, then you will see that there are 2 things. But if you look from above, they are same. If you look from further above, then as Arnav said, just soul and body.
And how you justify the subconscious and conscious? Because it exists in the literature, right?
Oh, okay. So that actually talks about different levels of mind. So that relates to mind, not to soul or not to intelligence.
Yeah, that's okay. But then when you consider it is as a
So that is
conscious
okay.
mind, then it makes more sense to have the intelligence as a part of it.
So the thing is that if you go into finer granularity into mind, then you will have the conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and those things that are dealt in psychology. Okay, so here I did not talk about it. So that is under the mind.
Okay.
Different levels.
So now if something makes me happy, now I know that it's not my soul, it's just the mind. So should I stop being happy or wait for my soul to be happy?
It's not stopping. You should ask yourself that whether it's going to last permanently.
I mean, I should abstain from enjoying my current state. Should I absorb something from outside, something like that?
So wait, 1 more week. For the benefit of others, because they may have to leave.
So the link of the missing lecture, I can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, the first lecture. Yes.
4 levels of existence.
Yes. Okay, so thank you, and you can ask more questions offline.